Hey, my name's Chris. I'm in a car club driven to compete. Sean, hope you watch this and at least like what I've actually done here. All right, so I've got an r170 Mercedes-Benz. It's the SLK drop top. The car, it's almost to be 20 some odd years old. It's having a lot of transmission fluid leak. In the course of 6 months, I lost about 2 quarts, and I should have paid attention sooner. I was always seeing the puddle and didn't want to deal with it. But I ended up cleaning it up, letting it sit on the rack overnight, found out where this leak's coming from. So on here, I've already pulled all this off. I pulled the pan off. I got all the new supplies. On here, these O-rings like to go bad. It's an infamous thing. Dealership knows it. They like to get you on it, charge a couple $1,000 for this. In all reality, I paid maybe $100 and some in parts between transmission fluid, the parts, everything. So here's the 2 new O-ring gaskets on it. They go in here and they actually seal transmission fluid in from coming out, and I had this horrible leak coming down. Quite frankly, was irritated by it, and I just finally, like I said, decided to deal with it. On this here, you put it in, you make sure it's lined up just right, 7mm screw on the inside. Put it in just tight enough. I forget what the torque specs are. I still have to look it up. Put it in just enough. Go ahead, hook your data cable back up to it. If you can, get the new O-ring for this one as well. It's a suggestion that you really might want to follow because, again, the fluid can come up through here and exit to the front as well. I suggest going with a whole new gasket and a new filter. Hangst makes a really good set. And if you've not done one before in your car, it does not come with a magnet inside. You can opt to put one in. Mercedes-Benz on this model doesn't. It's not actually required. If you want to do it, you can. Hangst also makes a oil filter where the bottom metal is magnetic, so that way it holds it out. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything for all the other guys that I'm doing this for on the one r170 site. If you've completely drained it, it calls for 8.5 quarts. What you want to do is get the actually approved stick. I'll put that in a video here in a little bit. You're going to want 8.5 quarts total. So go ahead and buy 9 quarts in case you need it. If you don't, you can always return it. That's what receipts are for. But you want to check it with the engine on in park. You want to go ahead and reassemble everything so that way you see every part. It's quite simple and easy to do. Yeah, I have a lift. If you advantageous enough, put on some jack stands, do it in your garage.